Yo, what's up? Pat Flynn here. Thank you so much for being here. Instagram, I hope you are doing well, staying safe, staying happy, staying healthy during this time. I just wanted to check in with you. I'm taking a little bit of a work break in between podcast recordings, and I just wanted to come in here late at night because I know a lot of people can't catch me live usually because typically I'm going live every day at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. And if you haven't realized that, I hope that you can subscribe on YouTube because I am going live every single morning. What's up, everybody? Everybody, welcome. Good to see you. Mel, thanks for being here. And all the other awesome peeps. Marco in the house, Maddie. What's going on, you guys? What's keeping you occupied these days? What's one thing that you've learned about yourself since you've been isolated and quarantined? It's really interesting. I have realized myself that I am actually pretty okay at going live. Not just here on Instagram, but I've been going live every morning on YouTube. And I've got the sort of system here. I've got the lights. Got the Rodecaster Pro, the boom arm, the DSLR camera. I got the ice light over there. As you can see, it looks like a lightsaber. And I'm having a lot of fun, getting a lot more comfortable. And it just reminded me that even though I was scared to go live, and I'm doing it because I want to, number one, hold myself accountable in the morning, start the day with service. Number two, just offer something regular for people every single day. We're getting some regulars in there now. It's awesome. We had about 150 people at one time live this morning, which was a record so far. And I'm going to keep doing it every day until we're out of this thing, which is really cool. So thank you for the kind words about the setup. Somebody was commenting on the beard, said, no, not a big fan. Well, this is my survival beard right now. I think that it's going to give me a leg up if things go bad. So I'm keeping the beard for now. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, just having a lot of fun here going live and getting better at telling stories sort of impromptu. I'm getting better at having less filler speech, although now that I say that, you're going to catch it. Every time I say a word like or or whatever, then now I've sort of doomed myself. Dude, you're lifting, you look buff. Nope, I'm just wearing tight shirts. Which recording tool do you use? For which? For podcasting, I'm using Adobe Audition right now. It's a little bit higher end, and it works perfectly for the workflow that I have for the 5 different podcasts that I offer. For recording videos, I'm recording audio into the Rodecaster Pro using this boom arm that's up here, that boom microphone from Rode, and I'm recording into a DSLR camera, Canon EOS R. A lot of acronyms and like things like that for, I don't know why a lot of these companies come out with products and they're like, it's the 4K GMX6B SM7B ATR 2100. I'm like, how am I supposed to remember that stuff? Now, I remember the 2100 because that's a microphone that I've recommended for about a decade now. But, I mean, why not like, hey, the Model X, or hey, the Model 3? It's like just so much easier. Pat, you're a pro. I first learned about you on Periscope back in the day. Hey, thank you so much. You know what I'm realizing, though? Do not go live on Instagram with a white shirt. It is very hard to read your comments because I have I can't see. It's white on white. I'm wondering if there's any way I could flip that. Just started reading Will It Fly. Very thought-provoking. Thank you. Take action on it. The number one thing is to make sure that you are actually putting work and effort into something that would actually fit into your life plan, right? A lot of people get into businesses and they do it because there's just a money opportunity, or they jump in without ever thinking about, okay, well, how might this fit into the life that I want? And unfortunately, I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and I know this because at conferences, back when we used to go to conferences, back when we were allowed to go to conferences, we would sit in the bar, have some drinks, have some chats, and eventually I'd understand a little bit more about the truths behind people and their businesses. And very often I'd run into a conversation with somebody who had a very successful business on paper, a lot of employees, making lots of money, millions of dollars, yet they were completely unhappy, completely dissatisfied, which is kind of crazy to me, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we have control over whatever direction that we want to go in, yet we still see people who are successful, who have been, quote unquote, living the dream, building their own business, becoming their own boss, and they're still unhappy, which is kind of sad. So we need to make sure that whatever we choose to do, we're putting our effort and time into something that would make us happy. And if it doesn't, then why are we even attempting it? Why are we even doing it? And the hard thing about this is that we don't often think about, well, 5 years from now, what would get us up in the morning and make us happy? What would get us excited, right? What platform do you recommend for virtual podcast interviews? I'd recommend Squadcast. Pat, if I would have found your podcast, I would have never finished. If I would never have found your podcast, I would have never finished high school in 2008. Thank you, I think. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Hi from Orange County. Yeah, hey, you're close by. Man, you're even closer to LA than I am, and LA is becoming kind of a crazy epicenter here, in addition to New York, with this crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now. But I hope that you are all doing well. I hope you're all being safe. Again, for those of you coming on right now, I'm just taking a quick break in between podcast recording sessions. So my team and I, we've been working really hard to provide resources. Many of you let me know with an emoji in the chat if you had received an email from me today about all the helpful resources that we put together for you related to this emergency that's happening. And we've made a lot of stuff free. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit, you'll see that. Right after I get off this call, we're going to be I'm going to be recording another session, an emergency session that is specifically about what to do if you get laid off. Now, you might remember that I was laid off in 2008, and I think a lot of people are being furloughed and getting laid off. I've never used that word before. I've seen it 10 times today, which is unfortunate because that means it's happening, but I've never actually even seen or used that word. Furlough, I thought was like I don't know, something about eyebrows. I don't know. I don't even know. Anyway, I'll be recording a podcast session. Furlough? Eyebrows? What am I talking about? Pat, what's that Funko character behind you? This one? This one? This is a... Now, I'm going to say it's Darth Vader, but it's not actually Darth Vader. From the planet Vulcan. It's from Back to the Future. When Marty, interestingly enough, is in a hazmat suit. Look at that. Furled eyebrows. Furled, thank you. Furled eyebrows. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, this podcast episode I'm about to record is some tips from my own personal experience after getting laid off in 2008. It is documented in my story, Let Go, which is, by the way, also free right now at smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. But I wanted to give a little bit more specific advice in a much quicker episode that I can offer for people and to share with others who might know that have gotten laid off. Furlough allows them to still file unemployment but not lose their job. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. From the planet Vulcan. Hello from France, Pat. It's 7:25 a.m. Welcome in. Thank you. Oui, all that stuff. I apologize. I don't know French. Although I did just recently watch an episode during dinner today of Gordon Ramsay, who was in Morocco. I didn't realize that they speak French in Morocco, and it makes me want to go to Morocco when I can travel again because the coffee, the food, although I didn't know that they ate camel there. That was really interesting. And apparently camel tastes like beef, a very rich beef. I did not know that. Gordon Ramsay is a cool guy, but he swears a lot. Good thing they bleep it out. Whew. Okay. So what my strategy here is, and just so you all know, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into my process. I go live before I do a recording where I need the energy, because typically before I hit record, I get a little nervous, even though it's just me and by myself. I'm in my office and I'm just going to be recording on this microphone here. There's nobody in this room with me. And even though I'm an introvert, I do get a burst of energy the moment I finish a live stream or a webinar, and I feel it for about a half hour and then I get drained. So I'm trying to react to how my body works when I go live like this. As you can tell, I am getting excited. I'm talking a lot faster. My eyes are wide open. I'm hardly blinking at all, I think. And the big thing about that is then I can take that energy and put it into the podcast episode. The second half of that podcast episode is actually going to be Matt, my CFO, coming on and talking a little bit about what one might do to start freelancing. So if you are furloughed or have gotten laid off and or had been fired, then what we could do or what can we do to start taking the skills that we have and sort of selling it and hopefully helping others and getting paid in return. That's a great strategy. Thank you. Thank you for providing value. That's why I'm here. Je parlais ou te français y espagnol. That's terrible. My bad. Not you, me. Sketchben says, thank you, Pat. I used to live stream and have wanted to go back into it. You should. I think it's a fun thing to do, and it's always great to interact. It also, especially in this time, great to connect with people. I think a lot of people are looking for that. A lot of people probably would have the opposite effect with that tip, right? They go live, they're scared, and at the end, they just, you might feel a little bit deflated. For me, I found that I get energy from it. So you need to find out with what you do in your life that gives you energy, and then just do that right before you do the thing that you need a lot of energy for. What's up, Alan? Good to see you. I recorded 3 bonus podcasts this week. So thankful to be podcasting again because of Pup. Pup, by the way, is my course, Power Up Podcasting. Thank you, Creative Thursday. I appreciate you so much. We do not have any questions in, but apparently I can receive questions. If you have a couple questions that I can answer for you the next 5-10 minutes here while we are still chatting here. I've been recording a ton this week. So much info is needed. Yeah, absolutely, Emily. Do you ever watch Hot Ones on YouTube? Absolutely. The Gordon Ramsay episode, he was like sweating profusely and just spilling milk all over himself. It was so funny. Alan says, what do you think of automated webinar strategies? I think that they can be used in a graceful way. However, there are tools out there that promote very snarky gray/black hat ways of running webinars. If you pretend a webinar is live and then you even have fake counters of how many people are there and even fake conversations happening in chat, I do not like that. I do not want to get involved with that. I look down on you if you do that. Truly. I do believe, however, there are great webinar strategies that can be done in an evergreen fashion where it's sort of treated like a more on-demand type of situation where, okay, a person signs up and you can say, hey, we're starting a training for you right now. You can click here. It starts in 15 minutes. This is automated, but it'll show you step-by-step exactly how to do this. Or ones where literally you click to play, similar to what one might do with a video, for example. I'm worried about my podcast sponsors. Will they go away? Well, let's do what we can to keep them on. I think that we can potentially reach out to them and just say, hey, we understand that you might be going through some tough times right now, but we also want to continue to help you over time. I think it's always best to take the transparent approach. So if you're worried about this, let's not worry about it anymore. Let's just address it head on. What I would do is, if I was in your position, I would reach out to a sponsor and say, hey, I wanted to reach out, make sure you're okay. Number one, just come from a place of, are you okay? And number two, go, I want to make sure that I can do whatever I can in my podcast to help you. Might there be any other additional offers that are coming up or any which way that we can help get even more users on? I realize that you might need some more users at this point. A lot of businesses are not doing so well. And me being connected to you and being a follower and being a user of your company, I would love to do what I can to help out. How could a person not be thankful for something like that? And even if they were to say, I'm so sorry, we were actually going to reach out to you and we're going to have to cancel sponsorships for now, but we're so incredibly thankful for you to reach out and offer support. Like, I'm definitely going to reach back out to you and be the first one. You're going to be the first one that I'm going to reach out to when we start doing this again. So that's the approach that I would take. Pat, what do you think about Patreon as a platform to refer users who want to support you and don't have a paid product yet? Patreon, an amazing model. I interviewed Tom Merrill and Jack Conte, the founder, on Smart Passive Income. Just look up Patreon in the search bar at SPI, and you'll see an episode where I talked to both of them. And Tom, at the time, was making like $5K, $6K a month on Patreon, and now people are making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, having their fans support them in a PBS like model that's paid for by viewers like you kind of thing. And I think that could work out really, really well. The biggest thing is you have to keep your patrons happy, and number two, offer some incentive for them to want to pledge and sort of help you out. What's up, Shannon? Good to see you. Thank you so much for everything you did earlier this week to help out and having me be a part of that. Creative Thursday says, inspired by how you're showing up in all these extra ways for your community. Thank you so much. And I'm doing my best to do that and literally just trying to be an example for others, because I think that I can create, for example, a ripple effect and encourage you to show up for your audience too. And I know that I'm also having an impact on what my kids are seeing. So they see me go live every single morning. They're up, but I say, hey, daddy has to go into the office to go live because there's a lot of people out there who are losing their jobs, who need help. We're in a fortunate position with where we're at in business and in life right now. So what we can do is help others. Find the helpers, and you can become one of the helpers too in times of crisis like this. Do you think the podcast industry will grow in India with time? 100,000%. Absolutely. I would almost guarantee it for sure. So if that's a question on the precedent that you are interested in podcasting, then I would say get into it. Now's the time to invest for sure. Okay, I think I'm almost at the energy level that I'm looking for. This is sort of charging me up so I can go back into the podcasting world and start recording an episode for you. What's up, Alan? Do you think it is better, or what do you think is better, starting a new podcast and have a good strategy on being guests on other ones? Or being a guest on other ones? Yes and yes, do both. The beauty of getting on other people's podcasts is you can direct people to your podcast, and it's easier to get them to go to a podcast because they're already open with a podcast app. This is a struggle with repurposing and also paying for ads to target those who you want to listen to your show, because they're likely somewhere where an app is not open, and they have to number one, get distracted, number two, click on the link, number three, subscribe, number four, listen to a show, number 6,000, then be excited about being a fan versus somebody who is endorsing you to go and listen to your show to somebody who's already listening to a podcast. So you're saying I should keep uploading, says Jace. Yes, 1,000%. dude, lean into it, man. And you're good at it. Your whole family's good at it, my friend. Ethan says, thoughts on preparing an online business presence in massage therapy while still in school for it. I want to do something now to set myself up for opening my practice next January. Well, you could do a couple things. I remember when I was studying for an exam, for example, I was sharing a lot of information about what it took to pass that exam. So you could potentially help other students who are in the same position as you, or people who want to get into massage school, for example, and you can sort of track and journey your progress through it for others who are just starting out. And oftentimes we think we have to be the expert on something to teach it, when in reality, sometimes you just have to be a couple steps ahead and you're going to be more relatable to that person. So I think that you potentially have an opportunity there. And then secondly, I think that potentially you could find a specific sort of angle or sub-segment within that massage space. Maybe it's like, I don't know, foot massage or something, and you just like learn and go all in and everything you want to know about foot massage. And even though you're still in school, it's like you become known as the foot massage person. I don't know if that's the thing that you want to do, but I'm just using that as an example. The riches are in the niches, for example. And congrats on the new practice. Jace, love you, bro. On it. Good. Awesome. When are we going to do something together? Okay, 2 more questions. Oh, chronic pain is what I want to specialize in. Cool. Chronic pain for who? That would be the niche. Is it for people doing sports? Is it for men? Is it for women? Is it at a certain age? Is it for a certain type of person or a certain profession? For example, what about chronic pain for lawyers? Hey, I help lawyers who are busy and get no sleep remove the pain because they're standing up all day, they have stress. So let me target lawyers who, by the way, have a lot of money, and you could become their personal sort of masseuse to help lawyers. Dude, that's an excellent idea. Can you imagine the kind of free legal advice you can get while giving a person a massage? I think that's a fantastic idea. I just made that up too. What do y'all think of that? And he says, I love finding intersections between your expertise and your sweet spot. So agree with riches are in the niches. Even though it's pronounced niches, we say niches because it rhymes with riches, or else it would be the riches are in the niches. Lawyers are the worst. They don't listen, says the lawyer, right? But what if you had your own personal masseuse that helped you take away the pain, Emily? Would that be something you would pay for? I'm curious. Do you think podcasts can grow in India? I think I mentioned that already. And the answer is yes, 100%. Especially as internet connection gets a lot faster, a lot better. I'm thinking about, for example, Starlink, which is Elon Musk's plan to sort of put constellations of satellites in the air. That's going to provide internet access to the billions of people who do not have it yet. Can you just fathom that? Billions more people are going to come online in the next few years. Billions who have not yet discovered our podcast, who have not yet discovered our business, who have not yet found our blog. This is a huge opportunity, which is why I think a lot of us need to get into it right now. And that's that. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Just needed to come on here to help me get some more energy, to help you while we're here. And finally, also make sure to catch me 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, youtube.com/Pat Flynn. I go live every morning. So long as this crisis exists, I'm going to be going live to answer your questions in a very similar fashion like this. And thank you for even saying my name. That was alone inspiring. Sketchben. And I appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. And yeah, keep up the good work, everybody. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. live on YouTube, youtube.com/Pat Flynn. Peace, and Team Flynn for the win.